So as I said last week, if you watched last week's video, I sure hope you did. If not, why are you still here? Go check it out first. I went on a trip to Ireland. And in this video, I just kind of want to talk about what we did, sort of, and blind traveling things, and kind of what was up, how it was. First of all, it was amazing. The views were fantastic. And on that note, I'm going to start off with the views. So one of the things, kind of questions that I got a lot when I came back was like, could you even see the views? And answer, straightforward, yes and no. So I can see like the shapes, I can see kind of like big things, like there's obviously lots of mountains, so I saw lots of mountains and the shapes of them. But sunny days, it was definitely harder to see, and that was one of the things that did make me, I don't want to say sad, but a little bit like down, because everyone was looking out. They're like, it's so beautiful, and I'm like, well, I couldn't fully see it and enjoy it. But that doesn't mean that I didn't enjoy it. I just enjoyed it in different ways. I enjoyed more the smells of the Atlantic Ocean, breathing in the seawater, and the feel of like the wind and all this, the other senses I just kind of kicked in more. And what I do for as far as the views is I go up, I take lots of pictures, as you probably saw, and then I kind of go back and look at them later to look at them more closely and get more of a visual feel. But in the moment, you know what, I get to enjoy the feels and smells and stuff way more, and I think that is almost special because I get to experience it completely different to everybody else who was on that exact same trip. So the next thing is the airport. So we were traveling with a Ireland specific airline, which is a little different than a couple other ones that I've flown with, and they did absolutely nothing as far as me being blind. Yeah, I was in a group, so like it wasn't that big of an issue, but they did not do, like I know some airlines will do like disability seating or like people who need help getting seated like before everybody else. They didn't do that, and they didn't have like a special security line for people in wheelchairs and stuff, which I know some other airlines do. And there honestly wasn't a lot done. I also got a drug swab tested because I went through with trying to have my sunglasses on when I went through, but it was all good. Not on drugs, guys. It's fine. I get that a lot. But otherwise, the plane ride was really long. It was 6 hours there and 7.5 back. And I did not get jet lagged at all because apparently I have no concept of time while I'm in the air. So when I land, it's like, okay, it's 5 o'clock. I'm like, okay, it's 5 o'clock. But the time difference was definitely really weird, especially because it was 5 hours when I left, but it was only 4 when I came back because Canada did daylight savings time. So that was a little weird. But otherwise, that's all I have to say for the airport. Now, food. Now, I am a somewhat picky eater, but I'm always willing to try things, and then I go, okay, I don't like it. But as far as food, it was slim pickings. So, Irish food itself isn't that different to Canada, but this particular tour that we were on had a bit of kinks as far as food. Starting with the fact that our breakfast and dinner was included, but our lunch wasn't. So every day it was like, you have to buy your own lunch and it's from wherever we are. And wherever we were always seemed to like not have real food. It was like coffee shops and cafes and fast food restaurants. I mean, fast food restaurants, like that's at least like actual food. But a lot of them times it was like coffee shops and cafes. Like the first day we got there, I ate 3 croissants for basically breakfast, lunch, and afternoon snack because that's literally all that was being offered, which was crazy. And then our dinners were quite small, like they were like half of a meal. Actually, one hotel did really well. They gave us like a appetizer, a main, and then every place we were gave us dessert also, which was nice. And breakfast, they tried to serve us blood pudding. If any of you have ever had that or tried that, I would not recommend it. It was not my favorite. And breakfast was also a little weird. Like their eggs were always sunny side up, which I'm personally not a fan of. I don't like the raw yolk and whatever. Or it was toast. They had a lot of bread. One breakfast we went to, it was like, okay, you can have buns, croissants, or toast. It was like bread, bread, and bread. One of the girls was gluten-free, and I felt so bad for her because there was literally like nothing for her to eat. Fruit was also so rare. Like, none of the places we went served fruit at breakfast, which blew my mind because that's so common here. It's like, yeah, you eat fruit with breakfast or like snack throughout the day. Just wasn't there. Also, on the note of food, my blind friends will love this. I had the most blind moment one day when we were sitting at breakfast. They had like, I got my food and then I sat down and then I went back to go get my drink because carrying more than one thing at once is trip hazard, spill everything everywhere, and I didn't want to do that. So I went back to go get my juice, and they had like pitchers of water, milk, orange juice, and that was like it. So I went up, I grabbed a glass, put my finger over the top, poured myself some orange juice, went back down, all was good. Then I took a big drink of my orange juice and almost immediately spit it out. And then I turned to my friend and I'm like, what color is this juice? Because obviously, right as soon as tasting it, I could tell that it was not orange juice. And she goes, it's like a pink peachy color. Why? I'm like, because I thought it was orange juice and that is not orange juice. And she looked at it. She's like, oh, I'm pretty sure that's a grapefruit juice. A, I don't like grapefruits. And B, when you expect orange juice and it is grapefruit juice, it's kind of scary. So what had happened is there had been the pitchers, and the third one that I thought was orange juice was actually grapefruit juice. And then beside it, there was like a big punch thing of orange juice because they drink a lot of orange juice in Ireland. And that was like, there was more of it than just the little pitchers. So you were supposed to go to that and get it. And I didn't. And anybody who wasn't me and wasn't colorblind would have seen that that was not orange. But hey, what can you do? So a couple of the fun activities that I really liked were the horse and carriage ride around, I don't even remember where we were. All the days kind of like blend together. I couldn't tell you what we did or like what day we did it on. And then we also did a train ride through another city. And we did a ghost bus tour, which was interesting. So basically we got on this bus and they had like smoke and corpses and all that like Halloween kind of stuff. And the bus driver started talking, and then all the lights went out on the bus. Before we even started driving, like all the lights went out. And all I hear is this one girl beside me go, is there something in the aisle? And right as soon as she said that, something grabbed my foot, and oh my gosh, I screamed so much. I screamed. I'm a baby when it comes to these things. So that was the start of this, and it was like 2 hours, and this is like 10 minutes in, and I'm like, I'm gonna hate this. But it actually wasn't that bad. There was only a few more jump scares, but basically the bus, they were telling us stories as we drove to this place, and then we drove somewhere, got off, and it was basically like a cemetery to an abbey. And an abbey is like an old church sort of thing that has had people die in it. This one had like 600 odd corpses in it at one point, which is a little much, but it was mostly kind of cool. We went into this room, put our backs against the wall, and just kind of stood there for like a minute in absolute darkness and silence, seeing if any ghosts come up and get us, but I didn't feel anything. Nobody else felt anything. I'm not for or against believing against ghosts, but I feel like if I had some evidence, I feel like you could definitely convince me. I didn't get any evidence though. And then we got back on the bus and they told us more stories, and they basically told us stories about like the culture in the area around us, and whoa, that was some exposure light. The sun is coming out. And on that note, the weather. You would expect it to be mostly rainy, which it was and it wasn't. It was very windy. It was constantly cloudy. We only saw the sun like 1 or 2 times. But as far as rain, it would rain for like a minute or two and then it'd stop. And it wouldn't be like a downpour, it was like a sprinkle. It did hail once, or it would rain when we were on the bus. So we were rarely ever actually in the rain, which was cool. It was cloudy, which I like from a light perspective. But some sun would have been nice because it was fairly cold. It was like 9-10 degrees, which you wouldn't think would be cold, but it's not like humid like it gets in Canada. Like in Canada, when it's 9-10 degrees, it feels like warm. With this and the wind, it was not warm. Especially on like the coast, it was freezing. And then the last thing I sort of think I want to talk about, I'll let you know if I think of any more, but was like my cane. So there are a lot of the pictures, you probably won't see my cane out because I'm a bad girl and I didn't really have it out. And I totally should have, but the thing was that we were on such rough terrain, like we were on areas that like weren't like, it would just get stuck on everything, like it wasn't convenient. And I had my friend there, so she basically sighted guided me for the whole trip, which I kind of felt bad for because she was constantly attached to me, but I don't think she minded. She was a good friend, good support. I did attempt to use it at the beginning of the trip, but the roads and like where we were walking was either like cobblestone or rock or like dirt when we were in the mountains, and it just wasn't working. So that didn't happen, and it probably should have, but hey. So actual last thing that I want to talk about, I swear it is the last one, maybe, was my favorite part. So obviously I'd like to say that my favorite part was everything because it was an amazing experience. That's why one of the other reasons I don't like the sun. But my favorite part was probably Cliffs of Moher because it was so gorgeous. And the Ring of Kerry, which was like, Ring of Kerry kind of, you think of it and you think it's like one spot and you think it's like a ring, but really it's just like a road through the mountains. So it was like, it's like 100-kilometer road or something, 100-mile, something like that, road through like the mountains with like multiple places to stop and take pictures. So that had a lot of nice scenes, and it was like through the mountains. If you gave me a mountain or a beach, like for sightseeing, I would pick the mountain. Beach for tanning and warmth, but I really, really enjoy mountains, so it was really pretty. And yeah, so that was my Ireland experience, my first time traveling out of North America or transatlantic, and first time going out on my own. It was a great experience. I would definitely recommend it. I would definitely do it again. But otherwise, that is it. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, and come back next week for some more fun stuff. Bye.